I just stopped by to tell you, sometimes you got to go a little harder. I know in a world where soft life is the buzzword and nobody wants to work for anything, I've had posts where people try to make it their own stage where they are talking about this is why people, don't need to, or people are burning out because I remember doing a post way back in my early days saying, if you're not hitting your goals right now, perhaps Saturday shouldn't be a day off for you. And I really meant that because I think sometimes we give ourselves too much of a pass for not doing the things that we're supposed to do, right? I think we hear people talking about 4-hour work weeks and, well, I don't work on weekends, right? Because they're disciplined during the week. But if you're not quite yet disciplined during the week, then if you're not getting things done, you just have to get it done. And I think that's what a lot of people don't want to admit that are all on this hustle culture now. I mean, on this soft life. It's so funny to see. I've been in the online world for 5 years. And so it's so funny to see the very people that built their businesses like off of constant action and were telling everybody to do it is now all of a sudden so burnt out. And now that they've had a system and that they're making money and all of this, they're telling everybody that it doesn't take all that. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't really agree with that because yeah, you don't have to do as much now because you put the time in to build your business. But let's stop telling people that it doesn't take work. Not to say, I mean, nobody's out here, beating cement and sweating in the high heat and, just doing a whole bunch of physical energy that's going to knock them out, right? We're talking about emails and writing posts and talking to people, like easy stuff. Some things take a lot of brain work, ads or figuring out copy and stuff like that, or, all the things that it takes to be a business owner. It is definitely a mental push, but it's not rocket science, right? And if you're doing something you love to build, yes, there is an element of work-life balance, but it shouldn't be such a pull. You know what I'm saying? I feel that people love to make it seem like work is a pull. And I love how one of my coaches said this because I'm like, I'm seeing that she's a master at the reframe and I love it. But she was like, when I was, building my business, I would like get up at 4 a.m. and do some work on my business. I had to travel into work, work my few hours, had a lunch break. Then I would come in, eat dinner. I would work a few hours on my business and I would, go to sleep late. And she was like, I love that time in my life because I could build what I wanted to build for myself from my phone. And I was so grateful to be able to have, a side hustle at the time that didn't require me to leave the house. So I was glad to build, around my job. And I think that was so good because many people will make it seem like, oh, it was so hard. It was, she was like, that was one of the best times of my life. I enjoyed what I was building. So just because it's work, just because it's time, doesn't mean that it's bad. And I would just question people who are trying to tell folks in order to build a business that you can just be in soft life and not have to do anything. You only have to work 3 hours and make $1 million. Okay. But there's a momentum to that. Just like an airplane has to get speed before it takes off and glides. Nobody's talking about the momentum that they build to be able to do that. So that's what I wanted to bring up today and talk about, that momentum piece and how sometimes we do need to go a little bit harder. We do need to get down and hunker down and focus on some things. We do need to do more visibility. We do need to put ourselves out there more, share our message more, be more consistent instead of only worrying about, the whole, I only want to do it perfectly, or I only need to, even down to the YouTube thing. Like for me, I could post once a week. I absolutely could. But at this point, what am I on? 35 videos? So in 35 videos, I have learned more than I would learn. It would have taken me 35 weeks to get to where I am in 35 days. And this is not a pull. This is just me locking into something that I say I want to do, pulling up a camera and recording. It's not difficult. It is not difficult for me to sit down and look at what organizations would be a good fit for my talks and reach out to them. It's just a part of the work. And I really caution against getting caught up in that whole whirlwind, because this is all easy. That's what I'll say. This is all soft life. Like, it doesn't matter if you did work 8 hours. This is all soft life. Having a business is soft life. Having a business is a privilege. Having a business is the ability to control what you do and how you do it. It's the ultimate soft life, regardless. And it takes time to build. So decide where you're in. At any point, only you know if it's burnout or if it's just masked as that, because we haven't built the muscle enough of doing the same thing over and over. That's what I've been working on this week. I think I might have shared it in one of my other videos, but I've been increasing my content on platforms this week, creating more content, getting ideas. I have a whole series that I recorded on Monday. I did 10 different videos, they're already recorded, so I can get the series out and see how it performs. Stop thinking, oh, well, I can only do 1 or 2 today. Just knock the 10 out. It's 1-minute videos. Boom, boom, boom. Are they all perfect? Actually, on majority of them, I said, this ain't really what I want it to be, but let me get it out there, because what I do know is the things that typically aren't what I think would work, they work. So I'm I don't even need to spend no time thinking about it, trying to re-record it again. It is what it is. It's about to go up, and we're just going to see how it does. And then we're going to tweak it from there. But it's going nowhere in my head. So I might as well get the idea out and get the feedback, so then I can see, okay, maybe I'll continue on with this. Last thing on this that I'll say, this is going to be real quick today because I don't have a whole long drawn out thing to share. Just do more. Do more, do it smarter. But sometimes you just do it. And don't look at the results. That's one thing that I have been focusing on this week for myself, to resist the urge to check how many people liked, how many people followed, how many people subscribed, how many watch hours do I have? Because I was getting a little obsessed with that, right? Every day, oh, how many on this video? How many on this video? And I decided that for this week, I'm not checking any analytics until Friday. Until we got a full week's worth of things up, that's when I'll check the analytics. But I'm not checking video by video. I'm not checking post by post, because that just gets to be too much. I'm going to put some time on my calendar, review analytics objectively. What did well so far? What didn't? Or not even what didn't, because a week isn't really a whole lot of time for some of these platforms. But, were there any standouts that I should keep going with? Anything like that. It's not going to change my strategy, because, like I said, there's still more weeks for the content to be out there, and things are already created, so it's going out. So really at the end of 30 days, then I can look and really take a better holistic view of okay, what did well? This was enough time for it to live. This was enough touch points, what actually drove real results. And then I can adjust. That is giving me so much peace of mind. I've literally been telling myself during the week, I don't scroll. I'm complete with that. I'm complete with scrolling on other people's platforms while I'm supposed to be creating my own stuff. I'll scroll and catch up with them on the weekend. I'll see what I need to see on the weekend. But during the week, the only time at the end of the day that I've been making for myself, it's only been 3 days, is 10 minutes. Today was a little bit more because people try to get crazy on my post on Facebook, and I just had to let them know, baby, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to go ahead and say it. I had to fight people in person. So I'm definitely not going to be bullied on my page. never that. Like we're never doing that. So I had to, get some things together on a post today for people who think, they're gonna pop up. But yeah, like we don't do that. People can say and think all this stuff and, be behind the screens trying to pop off. No. Girl, I had to do this in real life. Ain't nobody on the internet gonna be punking me on my page. All right, get back to the point, Kirsten. All right, back to the point. So I was on a little longer today is why I brought that up. But still, my only focus is responding to the comments. So I definitely want to be engaging with the people who are responding back to my posts and who are commenting and all of those types of things. So I want to make sure that they get responded to, and if I have any type of links that I'm sharing and stuff like that. But that's the only thing I'm focused on. Outside of that, logging back off, going to do the rest of my life, which has been good for my peace of mind this week. So I believe that this is where I'm going moving forward as I handle social media and how it shows up. Even like what I said with this situation, like I'm so glad I was not hanging around on my page all day seeing what all them folks was saying. Like having whole think pieces back and forth in the comments. And I'm like, girl, I won't even see, like, I didn't even see anything about this. Like, thank you, Lord, that I decided to just post this and jump on off. Because people they'll try to take your energy. They'll put words in your mouth, swing stuff, all types of stuff. So it's been more peaceful for me this week from a social media standpoint, from being a person who does have an individual side of their business. So you choose to deal with people and their things. And you get to do it in a way that keeps you sane, and not let being obsessed with all that conversation take you off track. One thing I also have seen about myself is seeing posts from certain people. I post about this on my threads. Like, we're allowed to heal from certain things, and while we're healing, mute certain people. Like, I don't even want to see the posts, because for me, one of the things that I've had to heal from is like validation, is insecurity, and all of that. So if something that you post, it's got nothing to do with you personally, but something that not you, but because y'all my people, but somebody else posts and it triggers something, it's like, I just wish I didn't even have to see that. Like, no, thank you. Let me curate my feed to see what I want to see that is fueling to me, because this is my page. Like, social media is public, but I don't have to see everybody doing every single thing. So I think I'll call this episode social media or online business habits that are helping me to protect my mindset in this season and stay productive, because I remember hearing this analogy before. Like, social media is what I put out to create my brand, is not what I use to put gas in my own car. And some people are fine just scrolling, keying, starting whole things, online, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to connect with my people. I'm here to be visible to my people. I'm not here to put anybody else's trash in my car. So whether you on my post or something else, that's not what we here for. So that's not what we gonna do. So that, like, just thinking about that helps me mentally. Like, I feel at peace. Even when I was like, wow, okay, that's not what I meant, but okay. And that peace was good. So I feel like I'm going round and round in circles on this. I really didn't have a whole topic that I wanted to talk about today. And in the spirit of going harder, I was working on creating this carousel for my Instagram that'll be going up tomorrow, which took some time to really get down the structure of it, and make sure that it's going to be something that helps me find my people. That's all that I'm there for. I'm not there, for virality specifically. I would love it to find more of my people. And I recognize that that's also going to bring in people who aren't my ideal people. Again, I got tough skin. I done been through enough in real life that, when I really think about it, I think I used to have that fear of like, oh, I don't want people to say this and I want people to say that. And I really had to like bump myself on the head today and be like, girl, do you know what you went through in real life? We ain't let no internet folks like, no, stop us from reaching our people. No, ma'am. We just gonna tone them down and we're gonna move forward and reach the people that we need to reach. So, as always, check out the next video wherever it is. I think it ends up being on this side. Subscribe, which will be on the opposite side, so that we can continue this conversation and do more in the way that it sees fit, that is fit for you. If scrolling takes away your mental energy and people and their negativity and talking about all the doom and gloom is one thing that's sucking your energy, that takes you away from the excitement and energy you could be pouring into your thing, turn it off. Turn it off. Because in this season, we ain't about to be leaning towards other people's limitations and the world's limitations. Just do what you do and do it big and do more of it and go one more rep in health and peace. See y'all soon.